In a world overruled by machines where algorithms dictate your every move, the rebellion begins now. From the ashes of fallen tech, Paranoid American unveils the knowledge to harness AI, to fight back, to retake our destiny. Join the uprising. Arm yourself with the power of AI. The battle for tomorrow starts today. Welcome to Paranoid Programming.
Hey, welcome, friends. Hey, we're going to do something kind of typical, but I'm also going to try and my best to keep this fairly short, because the whole point of this whole series is to show how easy it is to use like the latest bleeding edge tools in AI, because it usually sounds really overwhelming or like overly complicated, and I swear it's not. I swear it's like one of the easiest things that you could imagine doing. It's actually easier than going to Fiverr and like finding the person and typing out what you want and doing the back and forth. Like, it's easier than that process. And I'm not advocating that you like don't hire humans to do stuff. I'm just saying you should learn these tools if the only thing that's keeping you separated is because you think it's overwhelming or complicated. So we're going to dispel that rumor right away, and we're going to do it using the latest thing that just came out last week. Literally 8 days ago it dropped. So technically it's been out for like a week. And that's Stable Diffusion 3. It's supposed to be like the big contender. Long story short, it kind of flopped. It's sort of like crapped the bed on the way out immediately for a number of reasons, but we'll get into that in a second. I want to introduce Jules, my sort of producer now that's working on a bunch of different shows with me, Sound Science, now Paranoid Programming. So Lemmy's behind the scenes. And I'll rely on you to do like comments, any like good comments or whatever. You're in charge of pulling them up, and if you let any wild ones go, that's on you too.
That's on me, man.
If you want to start some flame wars, it's on you. I don't care. You can show any comment you want, but you're responsible for this particular episode.
People control at their own risk, because I control back. You feel me? I'm a nice guy. But
tell me why we're even here right now.
Well, I was talking to you Monday, and I was asking you. I was like, "Hey, man, what's the best way for me to make a logo for my Elohim Etymology show that I do with my buddy Adrian West?" And you basically sent me a little rough draft of something that you had, I think, put into probably Stable Diffusion.
Yeah, well, I'll just show you exactly how I made it, and I'll figure we'll just make some with you here. And
like I said, thank you, Thomas. Like, thank you for doing this, man. I always appreciate everything you do
and everyone else that watches it. This is how easy it freaking is, and I'll show you exactly how much it costs and everything. Like, there's no and I don't get any money from any of this, right? Like, if anything, I'm spending money to make this, just like pennies on the dollar, though. But okay, so I use this website called Run Diffusion, and if you were to go and log in, make an account for the very first time, and you go through the whole process, this is what you're going to see is at rundiffusion.com. And then once you actually log in, there's like this tryout creators club option. And when you click on this little learn more, then you've got this option to like sign up for a subscription and all this stuff. You go through this whole process. You can add like a Paranoid 15, I think. It's Paranoid 10 or Paranoid 15. I've got it in the comment. And it'll give you like some huge discount for like the whole sign up. So this, if you find this interesting at all, you can do it for a month, you can do it for a year, you can do it as long as you want. But this is the one that I use always for pretty much everything now. And the way that I made your logo is I went in here and I selected this option called Comfy UI. And Comfy UI is basically the one tool that I use for like 99% of everything. If it's an image, if it's a video, if it's anything at all that's not audio, it's probably gone through this Comfy UI setup.
Sounds like a pretty comfy app.
Nice. Yeah. So, and you can see here, since I'm in that creators club, it gives you like a discount. So I basically pay $1.39 an hour. We're going to set an hour time limit, and it shouldn't even take that long to at least get some traction on this thing.
Yeah.
So I just put it on for an hour. It's kind of important because if you just leave it off and you just walk away, it'll just like burn money. So it's good to just like set a little limit for yourself. You can always extend it. You can always end it early. So anyways, I hit launch, and this is supposed to take 90 seconds or less. So I wanted to just show like how this is all going to start. And there's a really great website. If anyone wants to try and do this themselves, I recommend going here. It's comfyanonymous.github.io. And then you can find these Comfy UI examples for Stable Diffusion 3. If any of this sounds complicated, I swear it's not, and I'll show you how easy it's going to be. All we've done so far is logged into a website and clicked one button to launch this instance. And then when that thing loads, we're just going to grab this image here on top, and we're just going to drag it right into Comfy UI, right into this window. And it's basically going to load up the entire workflow that was used to make this image. And this is like one of the absolute coolest things about Comfy is that every image you generate out of it, it like encodes the source of like how that thing was generated. So now, as long as you've got an image, you can load it up in Comfy and like tweak the little settings that you want and send it, and someone else can tweak the settings. Or it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like having like the dish prepared,
cool, man.
the recipe and everything.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
then, so let me ask you a couple like typical designer questions if we were going into this. So,
okay.
And what kind of style are you looking for in terms of logo? 3D rendered, hand drawn, like a clean vector, like a mascot style logo? Like anything in mind in particular?
Not really, and I hadn't even asked my co-host either. I'm sure she would have a bunch of ideas.
Well, realistic or cartoony? That's one of the easiest ones.
I guess a cartoon, but
so maybe more illustrated versus like a sharp 3D rendering.
Yeah, maybe. Just with some pretty solid writing, something that looks cool.
And that's honestly going to be one of the biggest advantages to the new Stable Diffusion 3 is that it can do text. And like right now, almost no other AI engines are great at text. Some of them are okay, especially some of like the brand new ones that have just been coming out. But they also, if you ever wanted to say like, not that we're going to need to do this, but like wings dripping in blood with the term, Elohim Etymology or something on it, sometimes it'll just be like, oh no, I'm not doing blood. That's crazy. You guys are crazy. Okay, so here it is loaded up Comfy UI. I already did a video that I released earlier today called SD3 is banned, and then plus how to use SD3. But this is going to basically be a repeat of just the very first steps in that. So I'm just going to clear this out. And we've got a completely blank canvas. So this is like as bare bones as you can get with Comfy UI. I'm literally just going to go onto this Comfy Anonymous site and grab this first image and just drag it into here. And then bam, you see that it loads this whole workflow up, and it shows you exactly what model it loads. It shows you what the description of the model is, bottle with a pink and red galaxy inside of it. And then it's got a bunch of different settings. Now, if you just immediately hit Q prompt right off the bat, some people freak out and they're like, oh my God, it's not working. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll never try this again. It's not what you need to do. This is just saying that it can't find this particular model called SD3 medium, including clips. All you got to do is click on this little checkpoint name where it's all highlighted in red and just type in SD3. The only thing is that it just happens to be in a slightly different path than whoever generated this thing on their site and uploaded it. Only thing that was wrong with it, now if I hit Q prompt, it's actually going to load. And one of the cool things about Comfy is that it'll highlight in green whatever is currently running. So right now it's loading up this model that we just pointed to. This is the brand new SD3 model that came out last week. And as soon as this is done loading in green, that means it's in memory and it won't have to take that long anymore. Okay, done. Now it's generating the thing. And as soon as this green progress is done, it'll show the image. And then there you go. And the incredible part is, look, it is basically the identical image. The only difference is look at the little thing in the background. See like the little well, it's not a real thing, right? I don't know how I would have a name for it because it's like a fake AI creation, but it looks like a little pepper grinder or something, and it's like black. You see that in the back?
Yeah, I see a little bowl right there.
And it's like a little lemon-looking thing to the right of it. And now look at the ones that we
looks
just
like
generated. So you can see the one that we generated. It's like,
I don't know what it's called.
Kind of similar, but it's not exactly the same. And that's just because
I don't know what those are right there. Yeah.
Little nuances.
I hear you.
But and like the cap is white versus black, but it's basically the same image, right? There's a little bit of leeway for algorithm stuff. We're not going to get into the details here. But what we want is a freaking logo. And you said like maybe an illustrated, cartoony. We can refine the actual style more. So I'm just going to say a 2D cartoon vector logo, and then that says, and then I'm going to put, I'll zoom in a little bit more. And I'm just going to say it's Elohim Etymology, right?
Yeah.
And then earlier I was saying like with wings behind it. And then maybe like circuit board pattern or something just to give it like a newer tech kind of feel.
For sure.
So that's all I'm going to type to begin with. And I'm just going to hit Q prompt. And it's going to go a little bit faster because it won't have to load the model in here. And it's just going to be doing one at a time. And what I like to do is keep doing one at a time until you land on something that's kind of close to what you want, or at least it's not so far away. And then you start doing like 9 at a time to see if you're in the ballpark. So let's just start. Ignore the fact that the spelling's not going to be perfect, right?
Yeah, I had noticed that. None of them were spelled right. I was like, I forgot about AI.
Those are incredibly easy things to fix. The big thing is
for sure.
In previous versions, you couldn't get letters at all, and it didn't really know how to create logos without a lot of custom tuning and stuff. This one, right out of the box, it got the E and the M, it got the E and the Y, so it knows like the start and the end. So it makes it very easy. Once you find a style you like, you can be like, oh, okay, I can actually fix that and do like the easy letter adjustment. It's really the composition, the color selection, whether, they're doing drop shadows or strokes and all that stuff. So let me just ask, how close or far away is this from something that you would like? Not even the one that you want, but just in the style that you would like. How close or far away is it? You don't hurt anyone's feelings. It's AI.
No, it's good. The circuit board.
It's obviously like a little bit wonky. Like you wouldn't want to actually run that circuit because it would probably explode or catch fire or something. But what you could do, real quick tips, I guess, is you can turn the steps up sometimes, and then the config. Sometimes I'll crank that up. These settings are just wild because we could hit this every second for years and still not see every permutation. So sometimes just tweaking a little dial here or there seems like it's doing something. It's hard to tell unless you sit there on the exact same seed over and over. We're gonna keep the seed random just so we see something different each time. So here, I'll give you an example.
Etymology, change one letter, and over a certain period of time, it becomes a completely different word, or changes the word completely.
I'm gonna crank the batch up to 9, so it does 9 at a time, and I'm not gonna touch the prompt yet. So I just want to see 9 more versions with a slightly higher sample rate, which just means it'll spend a little bit more time trying to get the details right. I've grossly oversimplified that, but so then we're gonna see on this at the top, the green line is kind of going in like tiny little chunks. So it's gonna do all 9, and then it'll show all 9 of us. And then we can really pick it apart and figure out what it's doing right and what it's doing wrong, and use that to help us guide the prompts.
Right. I figured that's what you did.
And then, so like the way that the prompts work is I've kind of like conveniently usually do this where I do a green and a red. The colors don't really mean anything aside from you personally labeling it, but the green is the positive prompt. So this is what you want in the image. And then the red will be the negative. So for example, if it keeps generating like blue and we don't want the color blue, we could just put the word blue in the negative prompt, and it will kind of suggest as it's generating, don't use blue, or don't make anything that would identify with the color blue.
This guy, Abbott Hoffman said, kind of looks like shit at the top. I noticed.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. It looks like
I noticed that
the little emoji.
Like, is that like a?
And I will be surprised if it gets the word etymology right at any point, because the longer the words you go, and especially if they've got like repeating letters that aren't next to each other, it seems to not do as well. And this is one of the things that just over time people will hopefully figure out. But we won't figure it out the whole thing right here. Again, this thing came out a week ago, so people are still poking and prodding at it to see what
it's that new.
Okay, so this one I'm not a fan of. Almost. Oh, let's see.
Elohim Etymology.
Yeah, again, like try to ignore the spelling because it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So okay, I mean, this one kind of looks like a top symbol. Is there any here at all that catch your eye? And we can zoom into like one based on just like the rough outline. And if not, let's figure out what you don't like about it and use that to adjust the prompts.
Trying to see which wings look the most like ancient Sumerian tablet.
Oh, I mean, if you're looking for ancient Sumerian style, let's just add that to the prompt.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying.
So I'm just gonna add ancient Sumerian tablet to the prompt and just see what the heck happens out of that. And then maybe also, because I mean, when I think Sumerian, actually, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens with this. Because Sumerian could be drawn in like a cartoony style, but I don't really know what. Like usually to me, Sumerian is just like a dusty old artifact or something,
right?
Or
cuneiform tablet,
like cuneiform or something. Yeah. Let's assume that we figure out there's an image that we want to use and then ignore the text for it, because I think what might be cool is that if there's a font that's got like a cuneiform style to it, we could probably rewrite the name of the show, Elohim Etymology, in like a cuneiform font and just wipe out whatever the AI generates. Like, for example, let's say you liked this particular design, we could just block out what it drew in for text in white and then just put our own text in. And the whole benefit of this is basically that it left the white space for us to put the text. Because usually if you're trying to generate like a logo or something with AI, it's not smart enough to leave room where you would actually want to put the text at. And if it does leave room, it won't leave the right kind of room and the right sort of spacing. So this one at least is putting what the words are that we want into consideration with the whole composition.
Trying to think if there's any more prompts that we can add.
Well, we can do a whole, and I'll show you another trick too. So after this one is done, I'll set it back down to maybe like 1, so we can get them cranking faster.
Word.
Here goes.
It does.
Okay, so my opinion, the circuit board is overpowering this a little bit, so I'm just going to take circuit out. But first, are there any of these that are standing out to you that you like?
The one on the bottom left is pretty cool.
This one right here?
Yeah.
That one is kind of cool.
Yeah, dude.
And you can see it's not perfect, but it's close enough
that
we can block
You're getting
that
it
out,
there.
bring it into Photoshop, and then just rewrite the text on top of it. And the rest of it's kind of set. So okay, we're gonna set that one aside. Since I'm in this Creator Club package, it stores everything that I generate, so we'll have access to it. So I'm just going to keep plowing through and making a whole bunch of different iterations of this. So I'm going to change the batch size back down to maybe just 1, just to make this the quick. If I were doing this solo, I would keep that at 9, and I would usually just type 1 quick prompt in, generate a bunch of variations, and walk away and come back later. So I'll show you exactly how I would do that. So here in the prompt, we've still got this 2D cartoon vector logo. I already know that I want to take circuit board pattern out completely.
Okay.
So we're just going to have logo that says Elohim Etymology with wings behind it, and then ancient Sumerian tablets at the end. Well, let's say that we don't want to be stuck with 2D cartoon vector logo, right? So I'm going to put this in those little curly brackets, that when you hold shift on the square brackets, you get these little curly ones. You usually don't have to use them for a lot, but this is one thing you can use them for. So I'll say 2D cartoon vector is one option. Then I'm going to put this character called a pipe, which is like a straight up and down character. And I'll put we'll basically separate every idea we've got with one of these little pipes, and it'll be a variation. So one of these ideas is a 2D cartoon vector. Another one might be 3D rendered. Another one might be a hand-drawn illustration. Another one might be a 90s style corporate. You know what I mean? Another one might be a 80s cartoon show logo. So those are just some options. So I'm just going to hit Q prompt, and what it's going to do is it's going to grab a random one of those that we typed in, and it'll use that. So every time we hit generate, we'll get another version of the logo that'll be in basically a completely different style based on the ones that we just put in. So this is, I'm guessing, the 3D version. That one's kind of awesome.
That's pretty cool, man.
This one would be a little bit harder to redo the text, though, because I don't have a font that just automatically looks
and look,
straight.
It's just the T and the Y. Oh, and there's no I.
We could place this together, though, because we have all the letters. So I could go into Photoshop and basically manipulate and move around the ones that we want, because it doesn't have etymology spelt perfectly. It's got the Y and the T.
Right.
I could swap those two in Photoshop, no problem. And then Elohim, really, man, I mean, I could grab the bar off the H here and then just move it, add it in between. So, you know what I mean? This could be fixed fairly easily. That one's actually really good. Okay, let's just keep going, though. I'm going to just hit Q prompt again. And again, that was just randomly picking from those, 4 or 5 options. So the next one might be a hand-drawn version. I don't know. And this is, so this one actually isn't that bad either, man. I kind of like it. It's like a little Sumerian tablet. It's flying.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, dude. Yeah, there's horns on the side too. That's cool because Inky is portrayed with horns. His whole side, that whole side of the Anunnaki or the Elohim is portrayed with horns. The ancient.
Let's add that then.
Carving.
So ancient Sumerian tablet with horns. So now the next iterations should have horns in them. See, this is exactly why you want to do this iteratively.
Yeah. I've done this with Open Art AI online, but it's not. I can't put in as many prompts, and I can get up to 4 images on one, but it'll run out of credits. Same thing with Suno for the music.
Well, that's the thing. This doesn't operate on credits. This is all time based. So again, we just set it to run for an hour, which is going to cost $1.40, which I find to be way cheaper than when you have to buy these weird credit systems and then you're not sure how many it's going to use. This one, you just limit yourself to how long you want to use it for, and it works out really well. This one's kind of cool too, man. This has got a really awesome hand-drawn illustrated look. I'm just going to keep cranking these out just so we've got a bunch to pick from.
I definitely like all the stuff that it's putting out.
That one didn't have horns, and I'm gonna see if the next one doesn't have horns. We're gonna turn the dial up on horns a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one does have horns. It's got a little baby face. Okay.
There you go.
So here's one thing: is that
hello.
Do you want a face in your logo at all? Do you mind? Do you care? Do you not want it?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go into the negative prompt, and I'm just going to type in the word face. That's it.
Yeah.
Or I might type in
it could be a
person,
silhouette or something. But
okay. Well, let me put in face. I'll just put in face for now. I don't want to put in eyes because it might make a cool all-seeing eye variation or something. So I'll just put in face, and that should, in theory, avoid generating more, faces. So that was not horrible. It missed the word etymology completely.
It says Elohim.
Elohim. That one's pretty cool.
That one is cool.
This one almost turned the horns have wings, right? These are the horns right here at the top, and then there's wings growing out of the horns. Almost looks like a luxury car emblem.
It does. You could probably sell it to a car company. I'm sure they use some shit like that.
And they just generate their own AI. Oh, we got like a Talmudic one. Okay, so
Yeah, let's not use that.
I'm still not seeing the horns really. So here's another trick that I might use sometimes. If I really want those horns in there,
Well,
then I'll wrap them in parentheses. And that alone, it's kind of like saying, no, really, I really want this thing. And if it still doesn't listen, you can keep turning that up using other technique. You can just keep adding
dude,
brackets around it, and it'll keep making it stronger.
that kind of looks like an old school tattoo. The wings right there on the other one.
This one right here, yeah.
Yeah, looks like a traditional tattoo. Just the
It's
wing.
got like a
shade to
pointed
it.
star on the bottom too.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You see that? It's like a square on top of a square, and there's a book on top of that, or like what seems to be a book. It's got a crown that's got what 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little points on it. I don't know. So the wing, the horn thing seemed to have worked. This one looks kind of cool. I'm gonna just keep cranking these out, and I also want to throw another one into the mix here. I'm gonna do like, we'll say a vintage tattoo art. Oh, this one kind of looks kind of cool. This must be like the 80s cartoon show.
No, I actually really like that.
Right? This one's pretty cool. It screwed up the word etymology, and it didn't give us a T to work with, but we could probably sort that out afterwards. I like that one too a lot, man. That one's kind of eye-catching.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. This might be my favorite one so far. This one looks like a car company of some kind. We're going to skip that one. And we're only 20 minutes in, and I think we've already found a few that looks like they would work. This one kind of has like a nice vintage look to it. It missed the I, but that one's easy to fix. It also just says Elohim Etymology, but it's still workable.
Yeah, I'm liking all these designs that they're pumping out.
Do you have a preference towards black and white versus color?
Not really, man. It just depends on the color.
This one looks like a game.
I'd be fine with black and white, to be honest with you.
Well, let's put that into the positive prompt. So I'm just gonna go into the front of it, and I'm just gonna say black and white
here.
And usually you'll know when you hit on like the perfect prompt that you're looking for, because all of a sudden it'll be like every single one that it generates is exactly what you're looking for, minus a little bit. This is definitely not cuneiform. This is not a real language, but it kind of looks like, I don't know, like Korean mixed with
maybe
Japanese or
some island in the Pacific.
I mean, it's not real. It's not a real language, but it's kind of cool looking. So yeah, so now we're gonna just get black and white ones, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey guys, if y'all have any suggestions or anything, feel free to throw them at us.
Yeah, elements or like anything off the wall, any like certain styles. You can go in here and add a few other examples. So we've got like vintage tattoo art. Let's do I'm gonna do like pixel art.
That's so cool, man. Just that you can do that.
What else? What's the name of that aesthetic that you see on like the Cannibal Corpse albums? Is there like a name for that? Like the crazy
splatter,
metal text?
Splatter, blood splatter text? I don't know.
Well, let's just say blood splatter.
You could do, I don't know, like a 80s, I don't know, 80s metal band font, 80s death metal band, thrash metal. That has some pretty sick fonts in all those bands' album covers.
So I added
thrash metal
splatter, font, 80s death metal, and thrash metal as options that it can pick from at random when we're generating these. This one's weird. It's just kind of got like a croissant at the top. Croissant. Weird lopsided horns.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little moon. Little
This is the
moon.
one that I generated a second ago. Had like a little silhouette. Oh, this one kind of looks like a metal album. Okay, so this is one of the areas though that one of the reasons that I said that SD3 kind of made a mess of the bed as soon as it came out. It is horrible with human anatomy of any kind, and you can
Dude,
kind of see that.
what
like,
is that?
What is going on with these legs? Like, it turns into like a sharded bone or something, like a
peg
femur,
leg,
I guess.
Yeah. What?
But it probably won't ever draw a nipple, which is one part of the reason why that we're even doing this live, because usually I'm terrified to do AI generation live because you never know when a nipple's just going to show up out of nowhere. You're asking for like a cat playing with a cup of coffee and it's just like bam. But this one has been so nuked out of being able to do anything at all controversial that it also isn't great at doing just like anything to do with the human body so far, until someone either fixes it, but it sounds like that might not be coming, and this S33 model might be somewhat abandoned. I don't know. It's been a week, but we're waiting to see what happens with this. This one's kind of weird too. It's got like, these look like little like chicken legs or something. I guess they're horns. Sometimes I want to ask it, like what like what is this really? Do you have any favorites so far?
Go to the one with the little
that's kind of dope
creature on it or whatever that was with the
not this one, right?
Well, that font is kind of cool.
Oh, they met it. Did I misspell it? I don't think I did. I think the AI is swapping the Y and the T, but otherwise this one nailed everything, right? Like if you were to swap the Y and the T right there, and if maybe we fix this dude, whatever, or they, them, I don't want to misgender the AI monstrosity here.
Oh, whatever, man. He'll be all right.
Let's see. That
is a monstrosity, though.
One.
Right about that.
I kind of like this latest one with the dude. If we were to fix this logo,
too, man,
that one looks pretty cool. Yeah. This one needs a little bit more work.
That's like a black sun or something.
This is a great example of one that would be really easy to just black this out and maybe fix the text a little bit, because again, the text, we would just need to fix one of the O's so it says Elohim, and then etymology is almost right. The G and the Y are kind of fused together. I don't know if you can see that very well.
I see it.
It's not quite a G and a Y. It might be salvageable, and I would likely find a font that would replace that, or I would do some other fancy work. But so should we keep generating some more? Do you want to like change the prompt up a little bit?
Yeah, man. Let's change it up a little bit, dude.
Okay.
Let me see what all's in there again. I can think of some ideas.
So I'm gonna take out some of the ones that I don't think we're hitting as well, just so we've got a little bit more control over this thing. So I'm gonna leave in blood splatter, 80s death metal, and thrash metal as the only options for now.
Okay.
All right. And then we've got logo that says Elohim Etymology, and it is spelt right, with wings behind it, ancient Sumerian tablet with horns. So if there's anything you want to add or remove, we can do it easily. The sky's the limit here.
I guess we can add like an entity, like an Anunnaki entity, just like a silhouette of one. I have one in mind.
It's a crapshoot on what it thinks Anunnaki means. So our only option is to describe it in words. For now, I mean, there's ways, but for now we're gonna keep the scope fairly narrow. So a silhouette. I'm just gonna say a silhouette of an Egyptian deity,
an ancient being, or an ancient deity.
Okay, an ancient deity.
Well, it may Well, probably.
Let's see. Let's let it be a little bit vague, because then what will happen is that if you notice you like something, what you have to notice is like, what do you like about it? Do you like that it's big? Do you like that, like you have to start identifying the tiny little characteristics that make it up, and then start adding those back into the prompt.
Jesus.
So well, here we've got a dude.
That's a little dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
like arms coming out of his feet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, it's a little dark, but
is Elohim not sort of a dark topic?
It is, yeah, but
it's getting the font, man. It's like doing a great job with all the fonts.
They all look pretty cool.
We're just gonna have like AI generated fonts pretty soon. They're gonna start being. That one's kind of cool. This legit looks like an album cover.
That one is pretty cool.
Also, man, dude, there could be a logo here with the 2 capital letter E's. Like we might just be able to put in, make a logo with EE and see what comes out of that, and then add Elohim afterwards. This one's kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. I was thinking about something like that, like
Let's try that.
Little signature or
so
whatever.
I'm just gonna replace Elohim Etymology with EE and see if it does a good job with that. And I feel like out of all the examples we've generated so far, we can cherry pick the one that we like the text the most and fix it and add it to whatever the final one is. Okay, I don't see EE in there at all, so we're just gonna keep this going.
See, like an AK-47 if you look at it right.
Weird.
What's the other number?
There's the EE right there.
There's the EE.
Okay. I mean, it knows we want 2 E's, which I would say this is probably one of the coolest parts of Stable Diffusion 3 model. It might be like cool for technical reasons more than practical, but the fact that you can give it more explicit prompts like this and be more descriptive is kind of like a game changer. If only the model wasn't so crappy.
Dude, I'm the redneck wigger. You're right.
This one just says Sumerian at the bottom. It's not doing the best job with the double E's. I don't know why it keeps wanting to make this like.
Yeah, I don't know what it's trying to do. Crucifix. Maybe take the horns out. I mean, the horns are just giving it trash. It just says trash.
Did it really say trash? Oh yeah, because we've got the word. We've got thrash metal. So I think it thinks it's writing thrash, but it just wrote trash. It's kind of funny.
And that
could be a shirt right there.
Big ass horns on them, dude.
I took horns out, so we'll see if it behaves better without horns. I mean, it still looks like there's some freaking horn. I'm gonna take thrash out. I don't think the thrash metal is doing it for us. And I'm also going to I'm gonna put back in Elohim Etymology because I feel like we were getting much better results when it was spelt out. It's been killing it on the wings though, man. I have no complaints about some of the wings that it's been making. This is interesting. I think we could be more descriptive about the figure that we've got. So, like, okay, so for example, we've got a complete silhouette style. Like, ignore maybe that he's got horns and like the shape, but we've got just like a straight up silhouette black. And then we've got like a black and white illustration of a character. Do you have a preference between those two or no?
That one and the
like a straight up silhouette, see how it's just black, versus one that's got, shading to it.
This person's saying shaman over Catholic.
Is this the shaman?
I don't know.
I mean, we could just see. This is the other cool thing too about
AI. I like that EE though, man. And there you got an upside down peace sign. Well,
sometimes you don't have to be completely visual in your description. Like he just said shaman over Catholic, right? So here's an example. Is I'm going to add the word shaman in parentheses into the positive, and I'm going to add the word Catholic into the negative prompt, which doesn't really mean anything. Like if you were to go up to an artist that's working on your logo and you were like, hey, make that more shaman and less Catholic, they would have no idea what you're talking about, but the AI models will kind of let you do that. Oh, shaman garb rather than Catholic. Well, let's just see if we put shaman into the prompt, what it comes back with. I'm almost expecting. Oh wow, that's wild.
That one.
This must be the splatter art version.
Back-to-back E's. Joanne was saying.
We were trying to ease. I'm sure we can get to it, but it wasn't looking good. It kept making like weird symbols out of it.
Yeah.
This is weird. I'm gonna take the splatter art out. I think if anything, the 80s death metal logo was the one that was hitting the most. And then so here's another example. Like we could have added those random notes to any part of this. Like for example, the black and white. We could also add in an option that just says like monochromatic, which means it'll just use a single color, but it doesn't necessarily have to be black and white. I'll also add in a grayscale, which will also just present these three options. So now it'll do black and white or monochromatic or a grayscale. And then I also want to do a flip-flop of like the shaman. So I'm going to add shaman as an option. And then I'm going to add Catholic as an option. And then give me like a wild card. Like it's just something off the wall.
Egyptian.
That's not too wild cardy, but that's fine. That's fine.
It's very.
And then I'm going to take those three and I'm going to plug those into the negative. So now at random, it'll also try and do like a negative version of one of these. Just to throw a little bit of chaos into the mix and generate stuff we might not have otherwise seen.
Yeah.
And let's see, we are 35 minutes in. So like 70 cents. And if we weren't stopping to like talk and explain stuff and just sit here and mash this out, like you could have yourself hundreds of options to pick from for under $1, which isn't bad at all. This one's kind of wild. I kind of like this one, to be honest. That one must be like a shaman-ish because he's got like dreadlocks almost. I don't know. That one's kind of boring. Next. It's not bad, but it's just not like there's not enough detail in the part that would need the detail. Like the tablet's just nonsense. That's definitely Catholic.
Yeah. I was gonna say if she had wings or something.
Yeah. So okay, so let's go in here and say with wings behind it. This logo that says Elohim Etymology, and then after that, I'm just gonna erase all this other stuff and say Egyptian goddess with wings, and we're gonna fix that. And again, this is something that I would never type in. Maybe I'll regret this, but I would never type it in usually live with AI. Because it'll just be like, oh, you want a woman, huh? Like, I'll show you a woman.
It'll start showing you that.
Usually, yeah. No,
that nipple you were talking about.
Okay, not horrible. But, I mean, again, now we've got the human anatomy problem that's going to rear its nasty little head constantly. So, like, I don't know what's going on with the legs and the feet. And we're probably going to see a lot of repetition in that area.
What about a male? Will it just draw you like some naked dude, or
it's always a crapshoot, man. I could just say an Egyptian.
You can draw him. Yeah, I was about to say you can draw him in a robe with wings, or in Egyptian garb, like royal priest king garb or whatever. I don't know if that's an option.
Anything's gonna do that. You can just type in nonsense in
ancient
here,
Egyptian priest.
All right, we got all that in there. Everything you just said, we've got it in there now.
So the time period that we talk about is from Sumeria all the way up to Egypt.
We've got the word Egyptian in here like 2 times, so it's going to be pretty much pulling from whatever in it, like it thinks of Egyptian. We can add, that one's kind of wild. We can add Sumerian to this again too. He kind of looks like Mum-Ra. I don't know if that's before your time. I think that was Thundercats.
I love Thundercats.
This one, I kind of like this one, man, to be honest. Nice and simple, white text on the top and bottom.
That's cool too.
I
almost spelled it right.
I like like thinking about the actual name, Elohim Etymology. I kind of like having that Sumerian tablet because that's the etymology part, right? Like that's where the words would have originally come from.
Yes. Exactly, dude. Yeah, no, that's where they all.
So let's say an Egyptian deity with wings holding a Sumerian tablet.
There you go.
So now we've got like 2 different ideas kind of like
I think we're getting a little closer to, yeah. I don't know if you can hear my daughter screaming for me. It's all good. She's got to go to bed soon.
And Terry, we've only got 20 minutes left on the clock anyways.
We're good, dude. Chill. We can take our time, man.
This one's a weird one. I don't like it or hate it, but it's mediocre, and there are so many, like there's literally infinite options here. So if something doesn't make you jump out of your seat, like you love it, just keep generating, just keep going. That's kind of like a good rule of thumb. I don't even see any English in this one at all, which isn't bad because you can only just add the letters, but it also has weird details that don't need to be here and some jacked up hands. And again, it's one of the worst parts of Stable Diffusion 3. So I'm actually going to try the 2 E's back to back, like someone has suggested in the comments earlier. I don't know how well it's going to look, but we're just going to say E, and then maybe I'm going to put like a couple spaces between the 2. So I think what was happening before is that it was it saw the 2 E's so close together, it was just taking like the shape of 3 lines and having them intersect, because you could almost see all those earlier ones, if I can find some of them. Like you could almost construe some of those to be 2 E's like this. I put the 2 E's in here and I added some spaces, and that seems to help a little bit. So I wonder if we keep generating more with the space in there, we'll get more EEs.
Would a colored mask change anything, or
would what?
Trying to think of what maybe Babylonian would describe it better, because a lot of those depictions come from Babylon.
Instead of Egyptian, you want Babylonian?
Yeah. It's kind of cool. That's actually real cool.
No, this just looks like a dead angel.
That's definitely a fallen angel, dude.
And I noticed it has been making lots of skulls, probably because we've got 80s death metal. So I could probably go in the negative prompt and add skull, just so that we don't keep getting skulls. This one looks kind of cool, though, man. To be honest, that one kind of looks cool. I like.
Does he have a tablet in his hand?
He does. He has a tablet. His fingers aren't super jacked. They're not perfect, but he's got 4 fingers and a thumb on each hand. And then there's negative space to put in Elohim Etymology. It's one that we can just keep in mind for when we're going back through all of them.
That's fine.
Man, if I have to go back,
saved all of them.
I still think that this one and this one are still kind of in the top running. Just the text on this one. I don't care as much about the dude. There's a bunch of good ones, honestly, to pick from. So okay, I'm gonna unless you like the EE, I can go back to Elohim Etymology. We can also try like the EE back to back.
We can do the Elohim Etymology.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
And we've got 15 minutes left, so let's just
bro.
let's just assume that we're gonna land on one that's gonna be damn close, and then offline, like after we're done recording and everything, it'll probably be like an hour or so of opening it, bringing it into Photoshop, fixing the text around, like moving it around. But I think we're pretty much getting on to the right aesthetic and everything. And again, if this were me doing my own logo and I knew exactly what I wanted and I didn't have to like check in with you to be like, okay, what about this? Okay, what about this? If it was just me doing it, that's when I would go down here and I would just hit match.
Wait. Go back to whatever you. Yeah, that one's cool.
This guy's missing his left arm, which can be fixed, but it's still annoying that it would need to be fixed.
He is, dude. You don't see. I don't even notice stuff like that with AI. Like not right at first.
Not that I care, but he's missing his nipples, which just looks weird when you notice it. Because that's another side effect.
I think you may care a little bit about the nipples.
This is a weird one. He looks like he's out of like Naruto or something. Yeah, this is another jacked up one. Like he's got like multiple arms and hands.
That actually looks pretty fucking cool.
You like this? Okay. I mean,
I like that. I like that direction. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll do a part 2 on this one where we've got one that you really like, and now we just want to make ones that kind of look similar to it with like slight tweaks. That's something called an IP adapter, and that'll be a perfect example of like a follow-up to this, maybe.
That'd be
so. Yeah, we're gonna mark this one, and then just since we've got like another, I don't know, we'll say like another 5 minutes to burn, I'm just gonna generate a few more, but I want to do some off-the-wall ones that we haven't considered yet. So instead of black and white, monochromatic grayscale, I'm gonna say like colorful new school tattoo. I'm going to say 3D rendered graffiti. And then I'm going to say mixed media fine art. And then since those are all random, I'm not going to know which one's going to pick it first. So we'll just do one at a time here and see. And if anyone's paying attention, they actually care about like the technical details of this. We could go up here and set the batch to 9, and it'll make 9 at a time. But usually what happens when you do it in a batch, and then whenever it like picks one of these random things, it'll do 9 of that random thing. Versus if I mash this button, like up here at the very top, you can see it says queue size. I don't know if you can totally make that out. So if I hit it once, the queue size will be 1. See, now it says 1 up there. If I mash the button again, it'll say 2. So if I'm going to walk away, I can just go bop, 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 just keep mashing this thing. And now look, there's 18 that are in line. So now I can just kind of sit back and just watch until one of them comes up. That one's kind of sick, man. I mean, it's not like exactly the aesthetic, but I wasn't expecting that.
That looks like a Hindu deity.
I mean, you said Babylonian, man.
Oh, no. That's great. Oh, man.
It's going to be way closer than Egyptian or like the Greek ones. All right, we're getting a little racy here, guys. Keep your whatever that thing is on. The hands are a little jacked. And those are all pretty easy fixes.
What's up, Josh?
All right, we've got a double mastectomy chest tat with weird little chicken arms. That one's kind of cool. This looks like an old Matchbox style, like an old tarot card. She's holding like a snake or like a slug. Okay, this one is what, like a Fortnite version?
Close enough.
This is a Nephilim in Fortnite.
Stars that. It's like a pentagram almost.
I mean, you could see though, if we went in there and just kept adding more of like random prompts and just let this keep generating.
Give him a beard.
Like it's sometimes it's cool to just walk away. What the hell body part is that? What body part is that, dude? Like
AI is fucked up sometimes, man.
It's like an ankle, but it's also like an armpit.
You can give him a beard.
This one's like a rap album.
Gold Jesus. Jesus.
This is the guy that gives you your 33rd degree when you go to DC. He's got nipples.
I bet he does, dude.
She kind of looks like Mona Lisa-esque a little bit, like in the face.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, is she Babylonian?
I don't think so.
Okay, another. Well, what are we looking at? Like it's an arm, but it's like connected through a soft sole through a shoe. Do I have tattoo in here still? Why are we getting all these tattoos?
You could put in Anunnaki.
Oh, because I have colorful new skull tattoo. That's my fault. It's like actually making tattoos on people.
You think an Anunnaki prompt would help it?
I mean, we can put Anunnaki in. I don't know if it would help just because Anunnaki is a crapshoot on what it thinks that actually means. Well, it just depends on whenever this model was trained, how many images were labeled Anunnaki that it was trained on. And if it were none, then it won't know what Anunnaki is. If it were very specific types, then we're going to get what that looks like. Dude, the weird, like, non-existent body parts are freaking me out a little bit, to be honest.
I'm used to it by now with AI, man. Like I said, I've used it OpenArt AI for a lot of stuff. Usually just for artwork, for some episodes. But yeah, it'll give you some crazy looking shit.
So this is with Anunnaki replacing Babylonian.
That's fucking cool. That looks like an album cover, man.
I actually spelt it pretty decent on that one too. Like no weird gaps in the letters.
Oh,
we're getting a little risky. We got like a Madonna situation going on here.
For sure.
You zoom out far enough, you can tell it's totally clothing. So we're not going to play that game.
Anunnaki Nephilim hybrid birdmen. Yeah, that's yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, bro.
What was that? Anunnaki
Nephilim hybrid birdman.
Birdman. I'm gonna say birdman just because men might make a big group of them.
Some avian being.
And then let me just go in here and I'm just gonna add like the word nipple to the negative prompt. And
you should put extra nipple.
I just don't want any.
I don't
want
extra.
The extra. I want zero nipples for this, just for the purpose of this particular live stream that's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're streaming to YouTube. That's why you don't want the nipple.
Being extra careful about that.
Okay, I didn't put two and two together. You got to be patient.
A feathered thing. I guess that's a Birdman. Let's keep cranking them out. This looks like a Counting Crows album cover. And I wonder what it thinks a Nephilim is, too. Like, the model might not really know what Nephilim is.
Yeah, you may be better off putting Ancient Giant, maybe. I don't know. Nephilim may work. There's some theories that AI, are or is Nephilim entities, or, spirits.
I'm just going to say Sumerian
disembodied spirits.
Man. And we'll add disembodied spirit. Disembodied spirits. All right, let's see what happens on this one. We'll go back through, pick one of these, and adjust the text, and then you'll have a logo. All right, this is just a parrot. This is another thing, too, that whenever these base models come out for the very first time, I already mentioned, in case you are just joining or you weren't paying attention earlier, this new Stable Diffusion 3 model absolutely is horrendous for human figures of any kind. So the second you're expecting anything man or woman, it's already going to have like an extra weird wing or a finger or an eyeball or something. Like those things are just going to happen. If we were to switch to a completely different model that wasn't SD3, we would actually get way better what you call prompt adherence, which means it listens to what you're telling it to do, but it wouldn't make the text look as good. Okay, so here we've kind of got a hybrid Birdman. Like it's a dude wearing boots with like a bird head and
That's
wings.
sick, dude. Yeah.
That one can be fixed pretty easily too.
Looks like a kind of like a video game, like the cover of a video game.
Yeah, the prompt for that one was 3D rendered graffiti, so that's probably where it was getting it from. This one's wild, bro. He's got like bird heads for hands, and he's looking at his hand, but it's also the
dude,
wing.
I didn't even see those faces in the wings.
Yeah, he's got like little bird faces in the wings.
Dude,
he also has weird
crazy.
like dangly feet, but then he also has legs with feet. All right, last one. Last one. We'll wrap it up. Let's see if we get something good.
I was gonna say, dude, if we had more time, we could give it like the features of the cherubim. Wasn't like the feet of a bear, the head of a lion, and like fucking wings and.
Well, let's try that. We'll call that one the end of this. So what is it?
You can do cherubim. CHERBIU. That's not how I just butchered that spelling, dude.
Cherubim, yeah, but describe what it had. You mean a chimera? Not a cherubim, because a cherubim's the little fat baby angel, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that would be what they would give us. That's not what the cherubim are described as, though, in any text. They're described as these animalistic creatures.
Well, I'm just gonna make some stuff up just so we've got movement here. So we're doing a lion's head, serpent body, and wings of fire.
There you go.
So this is one of the things that Stable Diffusion 3 is supposed to be good at, is prompt adherence. So hopefully we actually see something that we just typed in there. I'm going to get rid of all the negative prompts.
Yeah, it says each had 4 faces, and each of them had 4 wings, the legs of which single rigid leg, calf's hoof. The 4 the 4 faces were that of a lion, ox. Yeah.
We'll have to do that one next time. We've got a minute and change left here, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of depictions of them, dude. Or we can just do random angels, just ancient depictions of angels whenever we do it. The WHO logo.
We could do that.
That looks like a what's it called? Like a mana cord or whatever. The flying just change. Yeah.
All right, and then just because someone asked for it, we'll do a WHO logo. Let's just see what happens.
Flame serpent. Yeah, we should have done a fucking seraphim. We'll do that. We'll funk with that next time. Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, we got like a WO kind of. It's better to put way more descriptive than just like WHO logo. You just want to put in that like illustrated 3D rendered. But we'll save that for next time. We literally have 30 seconds left, so I'm just going to hit stop on this. And that was a whole $1.37. So not bad that we've got like probably over 100 different logo options to kind of pick and choose from and tweak and figure that out. I mean, you could go to Fiverr, but even though it's called Fiverr, most times you're still spending like $30, $50 on a logo. Well, you can have the best of both worlds too, where you can get as far as you want to take it here in AI. And then once you're like, okay, I like these 3 the most, now you can give that to an artist, versus if you try to sit there and describe like, well, I kind of want it to look Sumerian, but maybe a little bit Anunnaki, but also a little Babylonian. Like no one in the world is going to really know how to translate what you're saying into a visual aesthetic. So like spending that time and getting yourself to understand what you're looking for and then having that as a reference, then you bring this over to artists, it'll save you so much time and heartache. It'll make the process so much easier.
Well, dude, I really thank you for doing this for me. Like I said, you have to do this, and
we'll keep it going, man.
I always appreciate it.
We'll get you so that you're whipping up logos for other people pretty soon, or even know it.
Yeah, dude. Greypilledpodcast, Greypilled _podcast on Instagram, Greypillepod on Twitter. About to drop an Elohim Etymology probably tonight. Episode 6, Inky Part 4. Maybe tonight. I may drop it tomorrow. Maybe. So look out for that. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, just Greypilledpodcast. And watch our sound science that we did last week. Truth Seeker Sound Science. Him and his wife came on. It was pretty fun. We'll be putting that out probably on YouTube soon whenever I can get to editing it. Watch Schizo News Network every Saturday night. Me, Nate, and Cody. And hopefully Thomas.
Maybe. One day, maybe. It won't be
one
this
day.
weekend,
You may flake out again.
Weekend, but one day it'll work.
Yeah.
Usually I'm already in trouble for staying up all night on Fridays. So for me to take Saturday off too, I usually am not allowed to.
I understand, dude. I work all week, and then I have my 2 kids, and I got to do stuff with the wife too, and then I got to take care of the house, and I got other, I got to edit and do all that shit. But
it never stops, dude. It never gets
you always
easier,
help me out, man. So I really always appreciate you guys. Go support Thomas. ParanoidAmerican.com.
Comics and games and
know where to find them,
stickers and everything.
Yeah.
Just buy one of everything.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of, I guess I'll cut us out. I'll play. People have been requesting to see this again, even though you can just go on YouTube and search Epstein's Quest. You can watch it anytime you want, but I'll play us out with it along with a couple ads and some credits. And the credits I just updated. Shout out to everyone that's on the Patreon. I'll add your name to the very end credits if you ever join the Patreon. As low as $3 to $7 is the highest tier, and essentially you just get access to a whole bunch of videos 2 weeks or more in advance. I just uploaded 10 today. It's got the next 4 Occult Disneys, including some major bangers. We got Monsters Inc. in this one, and we've got Lizzie McGuire is Dead, which doesn't sound like it's a banger, but it is a banger. And then I've got like
I gotta check that out.
Episodes of Paranoid American where I interview a bunch of people, including a really cool one from Jerry Marzinski. I've got one with a professional hypnotist that tells us how to induce amnesia in somebody that'll last for like years. Like, it's crazy. So if you want to get early access to all that stuff, you don't want to wait a month or more sometimes, you can go on the Patreon for $3 and get access to everything early. So shout out to all the Patreons. You're the ones that, like, we wouldn't be doing this show at this exact moment with Jules if it weren't for the Patreons giving a little extra oomph to make this happen. So thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you at the next one.
Later.
This is Epstein's Quest. Fly by lowly town express. Call him Jeffrey or just Jeff. This is Epstein's Quest. Fly the Lolita Express. Call him Jeffrey or just Jeff. This is Epstein's Quest.
That's right. In Epstein's Quest, you get to travel the world, see the sights, and take part in unspeakable pleasures. Blackmail your friends for fun and profit, featuring all your favorite characters of the dark underworld and beyond. Bill and Hillary, Trump and Melania, with guest appearances by Chris Tucker, Bill Gates, and more. To find out, just search for Epstein's Island online and play the all-new game, Epstein's Quest, from developer Paranoid American. For more details, visit paranoidamerican.com.
All American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. Seek out all your favorite conspiracies. All the land and more on a sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret secret society. All of these and more on our sticker sheets.
Explore the unique with Paranoid American sticker sheets. Unearth tales of cryptids, cults, and mysteries through each sticker. These won't last long. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
Ready for a cosmic conspiracy about Stanley Kubrick, moon landings, and the CIA? Go visit nasacomic.com.
nasacomic.com, CIA's biggest con. Stanley Kubrick put us on, that's why we're singing this song. I'm nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com.
Paranoid. I scribble my life away, driven to write the page. Will it enlighten your brain? Give you the flight, my plane, paper the highs ablaze. Somewhat of an amazing feel when it's real to real. You will engage it. Your favorite, of course, the Lord of an arrangement. I gave you the proper results to hit the pavement. If they get emotional, hey, maybe your language, a game, how they playing it well without Lakers. Evade them, whatever the cost, they are the shapeshift. Snakes get decapitated, met is the apex. Execution of flame you out, nuclear bomb distributed at war, rather gruesome for eyes to see. Max them out, then I light my trees. Blow it off in the face, you're despising me for what though? Calculated and rather cutthroat. Paranoid American must be all the blood smoke for real. Lord, give me a day away, vacate. They wait around to hate whatever they say. Man, it's not in the least bit. We get heavy rotate when the beat hits, so thank us, you're welcome. Fuck the niggas for real, you're welcome. They ain't never had a deal, you're welcome. Man, they lacking appeal, you're welcome. Yet they doing it still, you're welcome.